Good afternoon. I'm Brad Reed, Superintendent of Schools here in Great Bend. Welcome to another edition of Soup Talk. We're here this afternoon at Great Bend High School with Gary Anderson, who is the founder of the company Read to Them and the program One District, One Book, which USD 428 is going to be involved in this fall. It's a literacy, a celebration really of literacy program that we are going to do in our K-6 buildings this fall, as we're going to all read at the same time the same book. And that book is The World According to Humphrey. This also is a program that reaches out to the community. We want the community to get involved, and as the parents and the kids read at night together, and then as we read and discuss at school, we want the whole community to be involved in that discussion. So Mr. Anderson is here today to help us kick off the program and kick off our school year. Welcome to Great Bend, Gary.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about how One District, One Book got started.
I'm a school psychologist. I've worked in public education for 42 years. And as a school psychologist, I noticed so many families were not, particularly in 2015, they were going home and they were getting on their computer or their iPad, but they weren't interacting as a family. They were missing that family interaction. And so I got together with a group in Richmond, Virginia in the late 90s, and we started problem solving. How could we get families to spend some time around a book? And in 2003, we hit upon this thing, One District, One Book, where everybody in the school district reads the same book, and it was immediately successful. The kids loved it because all their friends were reading the same book. And so the parents loved it because they were spending quality time with their children, and the teachers loved it because there was no extra lesson plans for them. So it was a win-win-win.
Well, you know, we're really excited about doing it here. We've had a committee that's been working for about 6 months, and we've got a lot of things planned, a lot of activities, a lot of events that are going to be mixed with the school and with the community. We know we're the first ones in Kansas to really embrace this as a district-wide initiative, and we want to do it upright and make sure that we're a good model for the rest of Kansas. But tell us some other places that it's been and been successful.
Well, we're in 47 states now. We started with one school in 2003, and now 12 years later, we're in 47 states with over 1,000 schools. And particularly in Texas, we find, you know, a state will get hot, and you are the model for Kansas, but in Texas, we did get the coach of the Cowboys, Coach Garrett, involved, and he's reading the first chapter of books, and so Texas is hot right now. Connecticut is hot. There's a lot of school systems in Connecticut that are getting involved, and that's how we spread more word of mouth than anything else. You'll tell another superintendent, I've hit this family literacy program and my parents love it. I talked to one superintendent in Virginia where we started it. He says it's just a bonanza, public relations bonanza for this whole community, and they support the school system. It just brings in so many players. And it's so large that it brings in the community at large. It's not just the school community, those that have children in the schools. It brings in the greater community. Like in North Carolina, they're doing a book, James and the Giant Peach, and the McDonald's are offering free peach tea to any child that comes in and says, talks about James and the Giant Peach. And so they're embracing the program too. The more people that play, the more businesses that play, because every child is just full of wonder and imagination, and they're just starting out life. And when everybody in the community is talking about the book that they're reading or listening to with their parents, it's just so exciting for them. They just get so excited. I do too, because you see a change in some of the children.
Sure. Well, you know, we all know in education that literacy is the foundation for everything that we do, and in many ways, it's the foundation for a successful life for kids. And so we're thrilled to be a part of it. One last thing I may ask you about is in the places that it's been, has there been any research I know that it's been very popular. It's been extremely popular in drawing families together and good family time and reading time together. But has there been any research in those districts in terms of how it's affected the reading levels of the kids?
Well, yes, but not as much as we'd like. We'd like to get a university involved, and we're having more systems like yourself that jump into it full on. And so we see patterns and trends. Like I worked in Northumberland's school system, and we had a pattern of only 5 out of 10 third graders passed their high stakes SOL reading test. And that was year after year after year. And then in 2004, we initiated this program district-wide, and the first year, 8 out of 10 passed their SOLs and reading. And then after 3 years, 9 out of 10 passed. So you can see those patterns developing. In Hampton, Virginia, we had a school, Bryan Elementary, and they had lost their accreditation with the state. And they'd fired their principal, and their reading teacher, Stacy Walker, came up, listened. She went back and took our program to their school, and she did 3 books in a year. She was the first one that did Humphrey, the book that you're doing. That's how we found out about it. Stacy Walker did Humphrey, and that year they became fully accredited in 1 year because it just pulls in the parents, and they get involved in the story, and then they join into the school. So it ends up being, instead of just educating the children, there's a community-wide focus about educating and build literate families in the community. And that is a powerful shift, which you'll see.
Absolutely. Well, I know that there's not as much research as you want on that, but I know when you do get the research, it's going to come back very positive. It just can't help but do that. So we want the community to understand it's a community-wide, school district-wide. Everybody in our district, K through 6, all of our elementary schools, be participating in this. One district, one book, The World According to Humphrey. You're going to hear a lot about it. You're going to see things in the community. You're going to see Humphrey. He'll make cameo appearances around the community. You'll see things in the businesses downtown. And certainly your kids will be talking about. So we want you to get involved and to read to your kids. We'll kick it off in late September, and it'll run through September, October, and into November. We just look forward to be an outstanding program, and we just want it to be a community-wide celebration of literacy. So join in with us when we get there. And we thank you for being with us today on another edition of Soup Talk, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.